What's up, everybody? This is my little man Milo, but wanted to thank you for watching. Oh, watch out! Watching Nerd Time Day 2 today. Hope you enjoyed yesterday's. I made today's about 10 minutes shorter just because I don't think anyone wants to watch a 40-minute long video. But at the same time, if you're a coach, you should be willing to. So I went over lower body today. Hope for some relevant information, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Okay. Remember, if you want any suggestions or you want to teach some stuff, I have a lot of friends that are saying that they'd love to teach some stuff, which is super exciting. Shoot me a message on YouTube or Instagram, and we'll get it set up. Cool. All right, guys. Stop searching. Start coaching.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Austin again from the Coach's Compound. First off, I want to say I'm sorry if I sound weird. My allergies are going nuts over here in Dallas, Texas. So hopefully you can put up with it. And yeah. So if you remember from yesterday was upper body. Today we are going down to the lower body. Okay? As you can see here, this is where we're starting off. All right, let's start top down, and we'll get this thing going. Alrighty. So, first off, we are going to start off with the hips. Now, there are actually different parts of the hip, and we will see what they are. This right here, this crest-like, is called the iliac crest. Okay? Iliac crest on each side. And guess what the big actual bone is called? The ilium. Ilium on both sides. Yep, same thing. Let's twist her around. Oh. Okie dokie. Right below the ilium, down here, we have the ischium. Now, this could be completely false, but I think it's not. So, the name ischium. Have you ever heard someone try to describe, like, talking crap or whatever being called, like, talking ish or stop that ish or whatever? I'm pretty sure this is what it is for, because this is where your butt is. This is where you sit on. I think that's why it's there. I could be completely wrong. I've been known to be wrong about my up-to-date facts on the pop culture. I don't even know if it's called pop culture. Whatever. Okay. Also, right here in the middle, the coccyx. The coccyx right here. If you've ever fallen really hard on your butt, and it is like extremely painful to sit, you probably bruised your coccyx because it hurts so bad when you bruise it. So right there, this is also your tailbone. You can even see right here, it looks like kind of like a tail. Okay, let's come back to the front. Right here, the pubis. And then let me turn on the connective tissue. This is called the pubic symphysis. If you've heard of that, that's what this is. The pubic symphysis. You can see how the two sides of the pubis are connected by the pubic symphysis. Also, like let's say I had a lot of friends growing up that did dirt biking, like actually raced motocross, that like when they fell off their bike, they broke their pubic symphysis. And that is a big deal because this is what's holding the two sides of the pubis together right here. Okay? Because since there are two sides of the hips, they can physically independently move, but you don't want them to independently move back and forth. Obviously, you don't want it to go out, side to side, stuff like that. Okay? I'll turn this off real quick. Now, ooh, the wrong way. remember I talked about this iliac crest. Right here is what we call, all right, this angle, anterior superior. Well, I'll say it first. The ASIS, anterior superior iliac spine. Okay? This is when you look down at your hips, pull your shirt up, pull your I guess your pants down a little bit. This is a hip bone. This is the part of the hip that's sticking out. Okay? This is what people use a lot of times to palpate to see if their hips are out of alignment. You put your two fingers, your thumb on each side on the ASIS and see if one's higher than the other. And then vice versa, back here, is the posterior aspect. Oh, no. Stop. There we go. Okay, so you can see how this would be the posterior aspect of the iliac spine. Okay. This is what's going to be poking out of your back, like the little dimples in your back. That's this. Right here. Same thing. You can also palpate these two parts of the iliac spine, iliac crest, and see if one's higher than the other. To see if the hips are out of alignment. It's kind of cool. Okay? Back over her. We'll stay right here in the hip now, like the actual hip socket. Right here, maybe I can, let's see. No, let's do this. Okay, cool. This right here is your acetabulum. Is it going to say it? Let's say right here. Acetabulum. That's what the actual socket is called. Okay? The acetabulum. And then in this acetabulum is where the head of the femur comes in. But you can see how this is like a socket. So this joint is called a ball and socket joint. It is just like how the shoulder is. The shoulder is a ball and socket joint as well. And whenever there's a ball and socket joint, there's always a lot more mobility there. So there's a lot more movement. A ball and socket joint can move all through all planes of motion and all around, but leaves it susceptible to injury. Let's unisolate this. Okay, so you can see here we have the head of the femur, but we'll go this first. This thigh bone, it's called the femur. Okay, it's called the femur. One of the strongest bones in your body. Then you have the head of the femur, like I said, which articulates into that ball and socket joint. Now, I can't have it do it on this. That'd be cool if I could. But to have it just move, you could see how that would just start rolling around like that. It can go out to the side. It can go out in front. It can go back. It can literally just it can roll around. It's pretty cool. Really cool joint. Okay, let's take a look at the connective tissue right here. Lots of connective tissue right here. Holding it in place, but at the same time, for a joint that is so mobile, it's really important for it to have more than just this connective tissue. So, let's start adding on the muscles. Okay. All right. So first off, what I want you to look at when I keep adding these muscles on is what muscles attach from any part of where'd my mouse go? There it goes. From the hip to the femur. Hip to the femur. Hip to the femur. Okay? These muscles are also playing a part in keeping that hip or the head of the femur into the acetabulum. So there's those. There's some more. Okay. There's some more. There's some more, even more. There's some more, even more. Okay? So you can see how all of these muscles are going to play a part in, first off, moving this hip and keeping it in its acetabulum. Cool? All right, let's move her down for the bones a little bit more. Okay. Tibia, fibula. Tibia, fibula. Shin bone. Very few people know how, or even like know their fibula is actually like a part of their body. You see it on a skeleton, but then you completely forget that's part of your body. You can palpate this, like the head of the fibula, pretty easily. Behind kind of on the lateral aspect of the behind the knee. But the tibia is really important because of, like you can see people hurting this during box jumps. We've all done it. You just destroy your shin doing box jumps. Okay. I'll turn this off. Okay, let's keep coming down. Just a few. We're just gonna do a few bones of the ankle and the foot. Notice how the ankle is a lot like the wrist, except I actually didn't even go over the wrist yesterday, too far. But the ankle is just like the wrist. It's got like finger-like projections, which are called phalanges. They're called phalanges for the hand. They're called phalanges for the feet. Okay, but this bone right here, the talus. This bone can oftentimes get clunked down and like stuck in, and it's meant to glide. You can see how they have this white shiny substance. That's for where these surfaces are for when there's bone on bone, that they can roll and slide and glide without having your bones actually, like the physical part of the bone, rubbing against each other. So this is meant to kind of articulate against the bottom of the tibia, and this will be the part of the ankle that has to do with like dorsiflexion. So imagine pointing your toes towards your knee, and then plantar flexion, which is like think of planting your foot and pointing your toes towards the ground. So that'd be kind of like a calf raise motion. Okay. Oftentimes, if you were an athlete growing up, there can be a lot of scar tissue built up in this area, making dorsiflexion a no bueno thing. Okay. Then right here, the heel bone is called the calcaneus. This is obviously, if you have ever bruised your heel, oh, it hurts. Man, does it hurt so bad. So it is important to know that there is an actual bone there, and it's called the calcaneus. But for the sake of everyone else, we call it the heel bone. Okay? Now, let's start adding some muscles. Okay. There. Okay. So, we have the iliacus. I'm going to add on next one. And then we have the psoas. Iliacus, psoas. Iliacus, psoas. Everyone's probably heard of the psoas if you're a coach, because that's like the number one thing that everyone's like, if someone's like, my hip's tight, they're like, oh, you're psoas. This is what the psoas is. Connects from the spine down to the kind of the top portion of the femur. Okay, both of these muscles have to do with flexion of the hip. You can see like up here the two red parts, psoas, iliacus. They both have to do with that. Okay, they are both hip flexors. Of course, the psoas The psoas is going to be the primary mover in this one for for hip flexion, but the iliacus is involved as well. You would often hear these called as the iliopsoas, but they are separate. Okay? Let's take this back off. And you can see all these intricate muscles holding on to the femur. So you have like your adductors. Remember, yesterday I talked about AB ducting going out away from your midline. Adducting is when you bring it back towards your midline. Okay. So this would also be considered part of the groin complex. And then we just have other smaller muscles. Okay. But let's go up here. Keep going. Okay, cool. So then we keep adding on to the groin. The adductor longus. Remember, underneath was the adductor minimus. Then you have the pectineus. Okay. And then let's just keep going. We're not going to go too in detail about the groin. You see here became the first quad muscle. Okay? Think about when I say quadricep. Quad is obviously the root word. Quad meaning 4. So there are only 4 of the actual quad muscles. So if you've been saying that there's more, like, oh, that's part of your quads, we're going to figure out which ones actually are part of the quads. Okay? Right here, vastus medialis. Vastus medialis. This has to do with the teardrop muscle that everyone loves on your leg. Okay? Then, vastus intermedius. Then, lateralis. So medial, intermedial, the middle, lateral, outside. One more. And the rectus femoris. I will talk about the rectus femoris. Let's isolate this bad boy. Notice here, the only quad muscle that connects all the way to the posterior aspect of the hip. Actually, that's the anterior aspect, sorry. The orientation messed me up. There we go. Yep, anterior aspect. Okay, just a little bit behind that ASIS. Okay, this as well works with flexion of the hip. Okay? So it is also technically a hip flexor. Okay, this muscle a lot of times can be tight in a person, or tight, maybe even weak in people, and you can sometimes feel uncomfortable on the bottom of that squat. Or let's say a good test is to get on your knees, like kneel down, put your big toes together, and then try to touch your butt to your heel. If you can't do that, or if you feel a huge stretch in your quad area at that point, that could be your rectus femoris. Okay? Pretty cool muscle. Okie dokie. You can see we have more aspects of the groin now. All right. So those are the quads. Let's turn her around. Go on to the hamstrings. Let's take away some of the muscles. Okay. You can see here, it's not part of the hamstring. But, okay. Semimembranosus. So this is the hamstring in the medial aspect of the leg. Now they added on all of them. Semitendinosus, just the outer aspect. So the membranosus was underneath, do you see? Tendinosus over top. Then we have this big boy right here. the biceps femoris. Cool muscle. All of these muscles having to do with the hamstrings. You can see what they do here. We have flexion of the knee. So like think about if you were at the gym and you go to the hamstring curl station, right here. Okay. Lateral rotation, remember, also means external rotation. Okie dokie. And then semimembranosus, semitendinosus are going to be also both hip extenders. So leg straight and you're going back. The knee is not doing anything. You're just moving the actual like femur behind you. Okay? So those are the hamstring exercises. Not exercises, but muscles. If you've ever done hamstring exercises, you probably have like recognized some exercises like the ones in the videos just showed. Okay? Let's go up to the butt. This bad boy. The piriformis. This is a hot topic in CrossFit right now. The piriformis is an external rotator. So lateral rotation. Think about external rotation. External rotation in a squat has to do with keeping those knees out. Keeping those knees out. Okay? But piriformis a lot of times is being like blamed. But it could be true for you for some back pain, and otherwise it also just kind of feels good if you find it and you are massaging it. It actually feels pretty good in a horrible way. But yeah, that's the piriformis right there. If you didn't know where it was or what it was, this is what it is. External rotator of the hip. Connects the hip to the femur. Okay. Here, glute minimus. Come on. Gluteus minimus. And then, right on top of that, is the gluteus medius. Glute med, glute min. Glute med, glute min. Glute med and glute min are both internal rotators of the hip, but also they do abduction of the hip. They're going out to the side, just like I said for the arm yesterday. The glute med is that muscle that we work when we put like a band around our knees and we do a monster walk. Whoa. That's what the glute med is. Okay? This can a lot of times be really weak. So now you know where it is. This is what you're feeling on this, like when you're when you randomly start massaging like the side of your butt a lot. This is what it is. That's what you're massaging. Then we have glute max. The glute max is actually an external rotator of the hip. Lateral rotation. And it also is the prime mover for hip extension. Okay? So if you're trying to get those booty gains, you got to know what the muscles do. There we go. There's the butt. Move our way on down. Let's go back to the knee and talk about, really quick. Let's take the muscles off. The different ligaments. You're not going to be able to see them because they're underneath. So if I turn, no. If I turn on the ligaments, you're not going to be able to see them. So if you didn't know, ACL stands for anterior cruciate ligament. Let's get a better picture. That was not a better picture. Can we fade others, maybe? Okay. That's a little bit better. You can see how it is connecting the tibia to the femur. Okay? Front to back. That is what people are tearing when they tear their ACL. Okay? No bueno thing to do. Let's see if it'll give me all the options. Let's see. Yay, it did. posterior cruciate ligament. There she is. Behind the knee and onto the back side of the tibia, kind of like where your calves are going to be, being covered by that. Okay? ACL, PCL. Then we have the MCL, which is not a cruciate, it's a collateral. What that means, I'll just actually I can turn this on. Okay. Medial collateral ligament. Here it's going to call it tibial collateral ligament, but this is commonly known as the MCL. Okay. Then go away. We have the LCL on the sides here. And pretty sure it's this bad boy right here. The fibular. Okay. The LCL. Those are the CL, not muscles, ligaments. Those ligaments you do not, I repeat, do not want to hurt. That's a very bad thing to do. Okay, that's where a lot of surgeries are coming from, especially with young athletes. So you have to be careful with quick agility exercises with people that do not have strong kind of quad muscles and leg muscles in order to hold their knees stable. Okay, let's start going on to the calf area. Okay, these two muscles are here called the gastrocnemius, aka what we always call the calves. Okay, so they attach at the base of the femur, and then they attach via this tendon. Guess what this tendon's called? You all know. The Achilles tendon. Down all the way to the calcaneus. Okay? So the calf attaches onto the calcaneus. There it is. There's the Achilles tendon. Then, let's take a layer off. Underneath of that, you might have heard of this. More and more people are talking about it. The soleus. Okay? The soleus is underneath. And the soleus, notice, is not connecting to the femur. It stays from tibia onto the calcaneus. Okay? Underneath of that Achilles tendon. Okay? So the soleus has to do with plantar flexion of the foot, which I guess I'll show you the video so you kind of know what that is. Like I said, planting your toes towards the ground. Okay. Then we have our gastrocs. Also plantar flexion of the foot. But since it is connected to your femur, it's going to have to do with flexion of the knee as well. Cool? Working alongside those hammies. Okie dokie. Let's flip around. Here is the tibialis anterior, or shin muscle. Shin splints are here. Also, you probably have gotten maybe, what's it called? Like, swelling. That's what the word is. Swelling after just smashing your shin with the box jump. Okay? This can commonly be tight on some people. If they can't get into this, I forgot to say the tibialis anterior does dorsiflexion of the foot, and a lot of times when people just don't have enough dorsiflexion, let's say they don't have a lot of dorsiflexion, and then you're running for a while, which at some point you are dorsiflexing your foot, that can cause you some shin splints right there. Okay, and then you have a few more muscles in the front, but I'm not going to say they're as important. Let's come on down. No, get a good angle of this. Right here. Okay. The flexor. Yep. Okay. These two. These flexors on the bottom of the foot. Notice, have you ever had any pain associated in this area? Have you? Plantar fasciitis goes on in this area right here. Okay? See how all the muscles that are here and even underneath of it? This is what you're looking at. Okay, and then you have, look at all the muscles in the foot. Like in the actual part of the foot. Pretty gnarly, all those tendons and stuff. So there's a lot going on with the foot as well. The feet and the hands are very alike. Okay? So, we went over hip musculature, femur musculature, some of the ligaments in the knee, calf, shin, foot. That's what's going on in the lower body. Okay? I was trying to make this a little shorter because 43 minutes yesterday is a whole long time. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, please let me know if you guys have any questions or want to go over anything or want to teach some stuff. I already have a lot of my friends lined up to teach some stuff in the future. Super excited about. Let me know. And remember, guys, stop searching. Start coaching.